Hello gamers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's unscripted, but it's going to be mostly how the title is reading, how Souls-like games made me a better gamer. If I take you back, when I started gaming, I was 6 years old, and when I was 6 I played NES games, went through my eras where I played GameStop games, or what you would call arcade games in your country, and growing as a gamer, going through every console that you can find from PlayStation. So started playing PlayStation after Nintendo NES. So I played PlayStation 1. Went through high school, started playing PlayStation 2, and from there on I took a huge year break because in our country we do a lot of sports, and rugby is mostly one of our big sports, and I was playing constantly rugby, focusing on that. Sometimes I would play games with my buddies, that would be PS2. But in my lifetime of gaming, I missed basically a huge part of the PS2 era, which is sad basically. But unfortunately I was committed to playing my sport, which is rugby. After that, after varsity, or would you would say university, basically I went here and there, started playing games again. Not really, but I would go to my buddy, play on his 360 Xbox, and then later on we would transition to Xbox One, and then later on from there I got my own Xbox and started gaming again. Till a couple of years I started playing retro games again, and that's why I built this channel on retro gaming. And I feel like this part of this video, I just wanted to explain, like the title is saying, how Souls-like games made me a better gamer. So Souls-like games, I really didn't know the genre. I basically played with one of my sister's ex-boyfriend's consoles. I started playing Dark Souls 1, and I didn't know what the hell the hype about this game was. I started loading in, and everybody knows when you face your first enemy, it's usually going to be skeletons in Dark Souls 1. And when I started battling skeletons and everybody came to the conclusion that this is not the normal skeletons, and I got wrecked by a couple of skeletons. Started running around, trying the game out, didn't understand the whole concept, and I died a lot. So I gave up on Dark Souls 1, never finished it, by the way. Started playing a little bit of Dark Souls 2 because it was on a special. And with Dark Souls 2, same thing. Started playing the first area, didn't like it. And apparently, the Dark Souls 2 is probably the worst Dark Souls. I didn't even know that. After that, I started playing Lies of P. It was on Game Pass, and when I started playing Lies of P, similar thing happened. That time, my girl that I have currently, my girlfriend, explained to me the whole concept of Dark Souls and all that, because I'm coming from first-person shooters, battle royales. I didn't know how this genre works, and she tried to convince me to finish Lies of P, which I played for a couple of times, and then same thing happened, and then I moved off Lies of P, and then I just went back to the battle royales. Now if I go to battle royales, love the genre, by the way, but also it's a rabbit hole. Once you jump in there, it's an addiction. I came from Battlefield 1, and then me and my buddy started seeing people playing PUBG online. We watched a lot of Shroud videos and a lot of big streamers playing PUBG, and then we decided we're gonna get the game. And as this is the first time I started playing any battle royale basically, and we started liking it, and our squad was doing good. We were getting here and there wins, and then the big game dropped after PUBG was Fortnite, and a lot of us jumped over to Fortnite, and the addiction grew on battle royale games. And then the big one that came after that was Apex Legends, which I still play today with Fortnite. Don't play PUBG that much, but those two games are my favorite BR games. And if I say the rabbit hole, I mean the addiction. With any battle royale game, the addiction becomes crazy. I believe a lot of gamers experience the same thing that I do. It's the addiction of that winning, and you know there's only real players in that game modes, and getting that victory royale or the Apex win or the chicken dinner for PUBG, it's addictive. And that was the problem for me with Souls-like games. Why I say it made me a better gamer. My girlfriend told me to give Lies of P another chance, and that time I was watching tutorials because I wanted to get back into Lies of P. And then I started playing the game, started getting demotivated again because I started dying the whole time. And the first boss is that guy, that big boss, almost like a guy from the circus. I forgot its name, but yeah, it was a hectic fight. And for me, I was near to giving up, and that time Queso was popping up on my YouTube channel, and I was watching him playing Elden Ring. And when I saw him playing Elden Ring and he died so many times, that's when it clicked to me that the game, you have to learn from dying in a Souls game to grow and to be a better gamer, to understand the techniques and learning the patterns of the boss. And when I started playing Lies of P, I started liking it when my mindset changed. And a couple of weeks I've started progressing, started winning bosses, start understanding the weapons, understanding the movement, and that's how it evolved me. Like Lies of P really made me a better gamer. And later on I moved from Lies of P to Elden Ring, and that game I'm still playing today, trying to finish it. But the skills that I picked up from Souls games, and the skills that I still use today in any game, I got from Souls game, because Souls games brought me back to games that single player. That's a little bit difficult. Some single player games you would struggle with single player games because you're always in this battle royale, and battle royale games makes you less, I would say, impatient. If I'm correct, you're impatient with the game. The game is taking too long. You get bored. And Souls-like games brought me back to that. And then I was watching some retro games on YouTube, and I said, hey man, let me go back to where it all started. So I went back to retro gaming, played all the old games, and then I've noticed the pattern of older games is difficult, yes, but it's also not exactly on the same line as battle royales, if you know what I mean. But also you have that Super Nintendo, the NES games, where you just one stage, you get 3 lives, or you get 3 lives for the game, and when you die, it's over. You have to start over that stage or start the whole game over. So that started making me appreciate Souls-like games and retro games, and it corresponds with each other. So after that, the retro games. I took the skills that I got from Souls games, implemented it back into retro games, and then I just started finishing games that I never could finish back in the day. So with Souls games, the improvement that it made in my gameplay, it helped with patience, first of all, because when you play Battle Royale, you lose your patience, it's a lot of stuff. You lose your patience, you lose problem solving. There is problem solving in Battle Royales, I understand. Technically, when you're shooting, you have to move to a different position, but problem solving in a wider space, what I say with Dark Souls, where with Battle Royale it's not that hectic because you're playing a real player. And then also boss battles, learning patterns, and you learn constantly from Souls-like games, constantly from a small enemy to a mid boss to the main bosses. It's a constant learning curve, and that's for me another point I want to bring up. How it made me a better gamer. It took me away from my BR addiction, Battle Royale addiction, and I started playing retro games, going back to singular player games, and I realized the big thing that was happening. I was wasting time on one game or one genre where I could have played a lot of genres. And with retro gaming, the genres are endless, the games are endless. So now I'm going back to that, playing those games, and I'm just evolving, picking up, and I'm enjoying gaming a lot more. You think you're enjoying games when you play with your buddies, BR. Yes, I understand you do enjoy yourself. But remember, there's so many games coming out. And if you sit for 2 years and it becomes 5 years, you sit with one game that you're playing. Just that game. The amount of games that you can play during that time, I'm not saying leaving BRs, but you can implement your games in a long span. You can get so many games in that 5 years that you can complete, finish, new, old, doesn't have to be retro. You can go into that games and enjoy those games. If you don't feel like, okay, I don't have to finish it now, you can go back to some other games. And then you can, even when your buddies message you, hey man, let's play online, you can go back online and play your Battle Royale games. So yeah, the addiction and waste of time, that I'm happy that I started playing Souls-like games, because it took me away. It broke the addiction, and it broke that huge waste of time on just one game. And if I take any key points from what I've learned from the title Souls-like games made me a better gamer, is that you as a gamer, don't get stuck on one game. Be open to all genres. Move from one genre to a different genre, and in the long run it will make you a better gamer. For me, it was the Souls-like games. It could be something totally different for you. But yeah, I hope you like what I said, and maybe like and subscribe to the channel. We have 132 members. Obviously, English is not my first language. I'm from South Africa. I speak Afrikaans. This is my second language. But yeah, this is the first time I'm doing a video unscripted. Just drop a comment if you like the video, if you understand what I was saying. If you feel like, okay, this is probably what's happening, this is probably something I can relate to, then just please drop a comment, explain your story. If you also have an addiction to Battle Royales, please comment down, tell me how you experience your gaming. If you need tips on any Souls-like games, I'm willing to help. I'm not the best, but I'll see what I can do. And in general, my channel is about retro gaming, but also I feel like I had to tell the story. And retro gaming in general yeah, it's a blast. This channel, it's a blast. I've enjoyed it. Sometimes I can't always post, but I try my best. But yeah, drop a like and a comment, and if you're new and you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you, and I hope I see you in the next video.